Just Being Earnest podcast is proudly presented by Traeger Grills. And if I'm just being earnest, I love my Traeger. I had one before they wanted to sponsor the podcast. I'm a day one Traeger guy, okay? I got the 885. Little joint's a hot little piece. It's so easy to use and everything I cook tastes amazing. Specifically, my bacon Bush Light beer-soaked brown sugar bacon burgers, which is my specialty. I absolutely love my Traeger. It's so simple, versatile, and has superior flavor from cooking with 100% natural wood. This barbecue seasoned grill with flavor. Grill with a Traeger wood pellet grill. Once you experience Traeger wood fire taste, you will not want to go back to cooking with gas and charcoal. Just how it is. Traegers are easy to use. There's no need to constantly prod, poke, and flip your food. Just load up the hopper with 100% natural wood pellets, set your cooking temperature like you would an oven, and let Traeger signature heat and smoke do the rest. Look, with Traeger's 6-in-1 versatility, you can do it all. We're talking about grilling, smoking, baking, roasting, braising, and barbecuing, from burgers to brownies, everything in between, pulled pork to pizza, you guessed it, okay? Smoked cocktails. There's no limit to what a Traeger can do.
Again, I think that mushrooms could be used as a medicine and not as a drug,
right?
You know? And if we would allow them to be legalized, the amount of research and things that would come out, dude, we could do so much with that.
Right.
But again, Big Pharma is going to shut that down as long as they can. The same reason Big Pharma doesn't like the IV world, because there's things that are treating people that aren't medications that they can make money off of.
Remedies.
Exactly.
Just being earnest. Just being earnest. Just being earnest. Just being earnest.
What's up, Bobo?
What's up?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, dude. We've been rolling for 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, just missing me?
I told him I was going to do a solo pod, and I was really happy to get to talk to him about some things. But forget that, and here you are.
Yeah, I showed up. I just invited myself in here.
That's good. This is overdue. This is way overdue.
Yeah. I mean, just use it as an excuse to hang out too. It's kind of the best way.
Exactly.
You know?
I love hanging out with you.
Yeah,
dude, you're so fun to talk with.
Ooh.
I mean,
that?
prove me wrong, but
I mean, hopefully I can keep it up.
You are. I described you before you got here as like the mayor of Nashville.
Ooh, the mayor of it. Yeah,
I'm the governor.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
No. But the way I see it is like for all the cool shit that's going on the city, like M Street to being able to help out Titans players, which you'll go in and talk about, and other athletes. Like you're in the mix, and you're a great guy to know. And I'm happy you're here in this city making a dent instead of somewhere else making a dent. Yeah,
it's cool. You know, I try to stay with my ear to the ground the best I can. You know, with my company and everything, I try to know what's going on.
Let's get that in your face.
Trying to know what's going on and make out with it a little bit.
Get comfortable though. I mean, you just sat down.
I feel pretty good.
You good?
I mean, I feel good.
Okay, great, dude.
You know, look good, feel good, play good.
It's so hot in here, and it's just hot with headphones.
Yeah, I had a hoodie on earlier and walked outside, and I was like, "What the?"
You were wearing a hoodie for the fit, though.
It was all about the fit.
I mean, come on, black hoodie.
Yeah, it was a pullover, and it just said Arete on the thing.
But either way,
figured I'd show the brand like that a little better,
and your biceps, and your triceps.
Got to keep them guessing.
That's right. So, anyways, all right. When did you move to Nashville?
I moved to Nashville in 2008, in fall of 2008, with a buddy of mine Sam Hunt, who you're good buddies with too, and you wrote a lot with. You
never heard of her?
Yeah, you wrote one or two with him, maybe something like that.
You moved here with Sam?
Yeah,
you
Sam.
were part of all the Montevello movement?
Yeah.
All right, let's dig.
Because we played football in college together, and then just both decided, like, let's just do something different. I had gotten hurt and couldn't play. He had just graduated.
How many years did you play?
3.
Yeah. What position?
Receiver.
And he was a quarterback?
Yeah.
Oh, so y'all were linked up.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
I'm literally just getting to know my boy that's already my boy.
Go.
So, okay, so you went, and where was that at?
And UAB in Birmingham. Yeah.
Sam a stud?
Oh, man. Well, he might listen to this, so I can't juice him up too much. He was good, though.
Good quarterback?
Man, he's a heck of an athlete, man. He's so athletic. Yeah. He was really good, and he had a chance to play in the league a little bit and kind of gave that up. And that's when we started talking about, like, what's the next move?
Right.
And he had talk about music, but I was kind of the one that was like, let's just do it, man. Like, fuck it. Like, it's time to make a change, time to do something different. Like, I wanted something different. And he was like, all right. Like, I was planning on moving anyway, and you're gung-ho about it now. Let's just do it. So we moved up here, and then we all valet park cars.
Where at? That's what my brother does right now.
He valeted at the hospital with John Worthington, and I got a job with Town Park. I was at like Marriott, and I was at the hotel scene.
Did you and Brad Clausen ever park together?
Brad Clausen. We might have. I don't know.
That was after. Anyways, okay, so you and Sam Hunt parking cars.
Parking cars.
What was he just getting in the mix, writing?
Yeah,
like, boy.
Shout out UAB. Damn, I just put him on blast on this thing.
There he is.
That is. Oh,
there he is, dude. What, dude? You look like so many things.
Yeah,
I'll start with a strong thumb.
Wow. Hey,
you look like a fucking thumbs up, dude.
Bro. I don't even know what that picture is. Man, look at that.
That picture is
Am
creatine.
I flexing my traps?
You're flexing your neck,
Am I
dude.
sitting like this?
You look like a ninja
I look
turtle.
uncomfortable.
You do look uncomfortable.
I look uncomfortable. I look like I'm constipated,
like
maybe.
Double wide.
I look very uncomfortable. Like,
yeah, well, we saw my college baseball
mic.
picture. I think we're all kind of probably in the same. What was your 40 time? Were you fast?
That's pretty fast, yeah.
Like 4.4?
Yeah, sub 4.5, 4.4, 4.5. Probably 4.5.
Were you a starter?
Yeah, actually I was until I got hurt. Yeah.
What kind of hurt?
Blew my ankle out.
Dang.
Yeah.
Are you injury prone?
Come on.
You just had knee surgery playing sports.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody who's around me, anybody who ever hears this will be like, that dude has got more injuries than anybody. I always was injured. I was injured in college. I got injured after college. I'm always hurt. I always got an ice bag or something wrapped.
That sucks. I don't know how. I mean, it's probably going to start happening, but I've never had like a crazy injury.
Yeah, I think a lot of mine too is I always push my body like I'm still 18, 19.
Yeah.
And remember that like I'm 34, so probably should not do everything.
Yeah, but you're in better shape than most 34. I'm in the same shape as a 52-year-old. You know,
hey, but a hell of a 52-year-old.
Good looking 52.
I mean, a stud of a 52-year-old.
If I look like this, if I'm 52, it's going to be awesome.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Delaney. I'll stick around.
Yeah.
She would look at me like she'd hit me in the arm. Like, you're going to be here after 52.
You're going to live forever.
Yeah. Especially if I keep getting these IVs.
I was going to say, if I have anything to do with that, you'll definitely live past 52.
Yeah. So we know a little bit about obviously Sam's career, but so how long were you in Nashville before? Like, what were you doing?
Well, I actually went to nursing school when I got up here. Finished that, worked in a hospital in an ICU for 2 years, went back to anesthesia school. That's a 3-year program, just under 3 years. Did that, and then started doing anesthesia for open heart surgery for 4 years. And about halfway through that, this whole time, I'm like, I'm in most of my friends do music, so I'm like kind of ear to the ground with the music scene. Like that's who I pretty much hang out with. Kind of grew up in this community around like a lot of the artists in town who've like started to become more successful over the last 4 to 5 years. I feel like that's who I used to run around town with.
Mix,
like we were all like, partying and hanging out and like in the social scene of like a bunch of just broke kids running around trying to figure life out 10 years ago,
Yeah.
And which was really cool. It was cool to kind of be a part of that movement, but be the medical guy.
Right.
So like no one ever had to, I was able to like really create good friendships through that time because I never had anything to gain or I was never in competition.
Yeah, there was never the weird what's
you got a cut?
What you want out of me?
Oh yeah. Or like no one ever, I wasn't like, hey, you want to write with me? Right. It was like, if we're going to be friends, we're going to be friends. So I got to cultivate like a lot of good, genuine relationships through that, which is great.
Great gotta be. Hey, what up, my followers? I'm excited to announce that I've partnered with Kong Beer Bong to create this special edition Kong for Just Be in Earnest. They go on sale this Friday, so make sure to get yours while supplies last, and then go up for a bong.
Yeah, it was, and it was just in a unique position too, where I got to meet those people. Because normally my path would never cross with a lot of the music community because medicine and music, as close as they are and as big as they are in Nashville, you just don't intertwine as much.
Right.
We had our close knit group of friends and kind of got to know a lot of people in the music community and kind of saw how that worked. And I saw how the travel life was and the schedule was and how rigorous it is. And like,
is this like Van, Sam's brother, was with you through the whole time?
Yeah, yeah, because because I met him when he was 15. I had like gone back to like Sam's property and like we were like in college and Van was like a 15-year-old kid. There's like, I wish we could find a picture to put up.
Van's my age.
Yes. Yeah. So Van's my business partner. And he's Sam's younger brother. There's a picture of us on his porch. I need to find it. He's 15. We've got guns in our hands. Yes. Like I'm like 20 years old. He's or 19. Sam's 20. Like it's such a good picture because it's the first weekend I met Van. And then I think about now how like he's probably the closest person to me in town and outside of town too. And we work together. We've built this company together, and it's so cool to think like that whole thing started as us like me meeting him as like a little high school kid. Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, that's a way bigger conversation to have because, like I've mentioned on here before, the way I met Delaney was meeting her 16-year-old brother when I was 20 at a studio 4 buildings down to meet a friend to buy an 1/8 of weed from. And Matt was our mutual friend.
Yeah.
And we became best friends immediately. And like, then I just became part of their family like overnight. And now look,
so cool how that stuff works
10
out.
years later, here we are, and I'm 4 buildings down from where we met, and it all started.
That's so cool. That's such a cool thing. This whole community of people in this whole city, the way it moves, and like I always tell people, you're about 1, maybe 2 degrees of separation away from everybody in this city.
Scary.
So it's also like you got to watch your shit, watch how you speak to people and treat people. I mean, you should be a good person anyway, but in this town, people see through bullshit, number 1. And number 2, you're so close to everybody. Like, you think, oh, well, I'll never meet this person. I'll never come in contact. You're 2 degrees of separation away from that person.
You're about to meet them.
You're one birthday party away, 1 cocktail hour away, 1 dinner away, 1 event away, 1 game away from literally knowing that person. Like, and that's what I tell people, man, you got to be careful.
Which is, while you got to be careful, yes, that's also the hope. That like keeps us doing what we're doing. As on my side of the table, as a writer and as an artist, where relationship and both of our careers rely heavily on relationship.
For sure.
So while also you don't know who you're going to run into, so watch your mouth. Also, you don't know who you're going to run into, so always just show up. Man. Whether it be in a writing room, like I've said on here before, show up.
Yep.
If you go to invite us, I'm not like a social butterfly, so to speak. Like I like hanging at home, and if I go have a drink, it's probably in the day. I'm not a big Broadway at night guy.
Right.
But there's some things where I just have to suck it up and go show up to because you just never know.
You never know. Like I'm big on mental health and doing the things that like protect that and taking your time for yourself and stepping away and like meditation, all these things that are like cultivating a good mental health capacity. But you got to be a yes person, especially in Nashville, man. You just got to show up to the event, like go to this stuff.
Yep.
Like you don't have to be at the bars at 2 a.m. You ain't meeting nobody at 2 a.m. No. Like not nobody that, nobody care to make it.
For business.
For business. Maybe bitten ass, but not business.
Yeah, bitten ass.
But as far as like this town, like you got to show up and stuff, like because you're like you said, you're about to meet somebody.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. And that's kind of how I always tried to find this balance back to what we were talking about in the operating room. So I'd be in the operating room and I'd be showing up to everything. Showing up to everything. I'd go on the road with Sam, or I'd hang out with other artists around town, and I'd get to know people. And my goal, I really had no goal in mind other than making friends. It just happened to be the people I connected with. And then what kind of happened was, after a couple years of being in the hospital, I was tired of being like, I don't know who I was going to see this, but I was tired of being a bitch. Like I worked my ass off every day. I worked so hard, and there was and the incentive was stripped away. So I just worked really hard, and they'd be like, okay, cool. You work really hard. You're really good. We're just going to give you more work. Yeah. Not more money, but more work. Same money, more work.
Yeah.
And it got kind of tiring. And, Van and I had talked about we need to start a company. Man, we went through a list of different, like just these like hot topic ideas. Man, with a smoothie truck. Like we talked about all kinds of things.
Of course.
And nothing really ever hit. And then we started looking at like the road life of an artist, and we saw like, anybody who's ever been on a tour in any capacity, whether it's the artist, the band, stage crew, like any of those guys, girls, whatever, it is tough.
Yeah.
Like it's anybody
24/7 job.
Before I ever was privy to it, like I thought it was like, man, that's the life. Like you just go rock star, go to bed, wake up the next day, just chill, have some tea. Like
Wrong.
somebody makes you an omelet, brings it to you, like you stretch.
Sometimes, well, you're not wrong about everything you just mentioned. There's just a lot of other things.
Exactly, but it doesn't. But it's not as it's not as pretty as you think.
It's not all. It's not all that's happening.
Exactly. Exactly. There's like all that stuff, but. By the way, you're going to do a ton of phoners. You're going to meet these people. There's a meet and greet here. You got to have this radio. You got
to drink for an hour and a half.
Exactly.
And you got to meet this guy.
And then all of a sudden, you've got to go turn it back on and do a show. But you just had 4 or 5 bourbons, and you're like, "Hey, I'm trying to appease everybody all the time."
This segment's called muscle memory.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it is crazy, dude. Like going from that mode to just snapping it in, and then you got to do a show. And I've done it, and then seen so many people do it. That is like. That's not even a skill. That's like a freakish miracle.
It's literally like it's almost like a God-given talent. Like it really is. Like to be able to party and be on like this, like you're looking in their eyes, and you got all these 5 or 10 radio people that you're like connecting with, and then it's like, all right, I've got to change who I am a little bit back to big stage Ern.
Yeah,
like I go from intimate Ern to big stage Ern, and it's like in a matter of like 20 minutes. You know, this radio thing ends, meet and greet,
go get your ears on, and
boom, you're on stage. By the way, and that it's not for the faint of heart for sure. I mean, I never could have done that, but I saw a need there, and I saw how guys would come off the road, and you'd be so worn down, so beaten down
for 3 days and start over.
And those 3 days. Are a lot of times guys' writing days. They're their family days.
Or vocal.
They're their personal days, vocal rest day. Like, or they're in the studio day. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
they're like
you go to the studio.
There's other things going on, but the road is draining. I mean, especially like when you're a newer artist, and you don't get to sleep in the back of a tour bus that's got a king size bed or a queen size bed. You're sleeping in a van, or you're sleeping in a Red Roof Inn, or you're sleeping. And even once you get to tour bus style, you're sleeping in a coffin. So it's like, you know, you're not, it's not like.
It's not the same at all.
It's not like sleeping in your home bed.
I like sleeping in a bus, but like bed's better.
Exactly.
The rumble of a bus is nice. So, but white noise machine.
But you can do that at home. Yeah. So we saw like that there was a place that I could kind of bring my medical knowledge to the forefront of the artist community.
Right.
So, you know, because you want to be on too, like for your fans by the next week, but you also want to be on when you're home with your family, your girlfriend, your kids, whatever.
Yes.
And so that's when I had talked to Van about this, and I kind of pitched this idea to him, and he was like all in, you know, and he was really tied to the music community too. He had kind of cultivated a little. He was doing he had another job at the time, but
did he have any medical background? Or
none at all. Gotcha. None at all. So he's a finance major. So like I brought him, I kind of got him involved. Because he does a lot of the business stuff that is over my head. Yeah, like he kind of runs CFO. So he kind of runs all the business. Like I have no idea what's going on that side of stuff half the time. He just kind of
LSD, CFO, LSD,
basically the same thing.
What is this? What am I looking at right here?
I can't find the balcony picture, or the porch picture that you're talking about. But here is
that us?
Guys. This is you guys with Ralphie.
Oh wow,
Ralphie. That's definitely outside of Zany's.
R.I.P. Ralphie. Yeah. He passed away, right? Ralphie May passed away, right? R.I.P. Man, that's an old picture. Man, what year was that?
Still wearing the same hat.
2013, man. Yeah.
Look at you, dude.
I look, man.
You got the same hat. Same.
Wow. I'm the same cat.
Wow. Consistency. Who's in between you and Ralphie?
That's John Worthington. That's Sam's tour manager.
That's right.
So me, John, and Sam moved to Nashville together. And then Van is my business partner. That's crazy.
Where'd y'all live when you first moved here?
Germantown. It ain't the Germantown, you know it. Hey, we got robbed twice. We got robbed twice in the first month.
Welcome to Nashville.
Dude, bro, and that's 2012, 13?
08.
Hey, why'd you move to Germantown?
Nobody told it. Hey, we had like this. All right, it was a dope spot.
A cool little hit place.
3 bedroom, 2.5 bath. We had Viking cookware, like all the oven and stove. It's so nice. Paid $1,600 a month.
Yeah,
that right there tells you something's off.
I know. Were you
something's
near the Kroger?
Off. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We all know the Kroger.
Yeah, you can't go to that Kroger.
No. Okay. Yeah, because wow, dude, Germantown in 08. That was before the Sound Stadium was even there.
Yeah, there was nothing over there.
Look at you, dude. You're a local.
We basically founded Germantown.
Yeah.
We named it actually, Germantown. It had a different name before we got there. We actually named it.
That's hilarious. Dang, so you were here for the flood.
Yeah.
So 2 years into Nashville, had you started your business yet, or were you still kind of?
No, we didn't.
You were still at the hospital.
This company didn't start until 2017, really. So we started doing so basically we had taken all these relationships we had built and we're like, hey, we can help y'all. Like, be more optimized, make it easier. So what we did is we took all of our clients that we kind of had, or all of our friends, they weren't clients yet,
right? And
said let us try some stuff, like do an IV, see how you feel, like doing some of this some of our vitamin cocktails. And people were like, dang, I feel a lot better. Like, I do feel more rested. I feel more productive when I'm home.
I want to be an IV guinea pig. How do I sign up for that?
I know, right? Well,
try whatever.
The guinea pig started a while back, now we've kind of figured out what works.
Yes.
And then we kind of combined that piece of it with this idea of a rock doc, which anybody who's ever been on tour knows that a rock doc is the guy that shows up on your bus when you're sick, probably in a cowboy hat because it's country music and he loves country music. He got a cowboy boots on. He's got a tucked in button up into a belt buckle.
Yep.
Straight leg jeans.
The guy.
And he's the doctor and he says, yeah, well, you're sick, and you're like, yes, sir. And he says, all right, well, here's an antibiotic, here's a Z-Pack and a steroid shot or a steroid dose pack, and that's all we're going to do. And you pay them anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000, depending on how big of an artist you are. It's really how you pay them.
Those guys are making.
And what we did is we were like, hey, we can get rid of that altogether.
Yeah.
What we did is we said, hey, you just become a client of ours, and we have a history and physical on you. Now, when you're in Portland, Oregon, playing a show, we can just call a script in for you, and the runner can grab it, or your tour manager or whoever's with you can just grab it, and you don't have to see anybody.
Yeah.
So we were like, this is what we're going to do. This makes sense. This is going to work for people.
Revive.
That was the original company name, Revive with a capital IV.
That's
Man,
tight.
We just picked a name too. We were like, let's just throw a name because we need to get this company going.
Yeah.
And then as we kept going down that path, we were like, man, this is kind of cheesy.
What's Arete mean?
So Arete is the name of the company now. It's Greek and means excellence of any kind. So we wanted to build a company. We have a facility we're building in Green Hills now that'll have cryotherapy, hyperbaric chamber, infrared sauna, light therapy, peptide therapy.
To losers and start going to this place.
Exactly.
Sure, what are you doing? Just going to get a little cryo piece this afternoon. You busy? No, I can't.
No,
I can't.
I can't go to losers today. I'm going to get healthy.
I really should. Might not.
I'm really gonna probably make you.
It's good, dude. Is there a membership thing?
Yeah, there'll be memberships and stuff. It'll be open July, August, probably July. Hopefully,
let's go.
Yeah, I'm pumped. So, but that was a big thing. Is we started doing it for these artists, and we were working out of my house.
Right.
It was oh shoot, and it started to kind of take off. And then my buddy, so I'm good buddies with Eric Decker, who at the time had just signed to play with the Titans.
Right.
And he was like, hey, the IV thing that you're doing, you think you can do it for me? I used to get him in Denver. I think it would be cool if you did it. And I was like, I don't know anything about IV formulations for athletes, but I can do some research and I can try some stuff and we can kind of see how it works. So all through camp, we did random IV formulas with him and tried to figure out what was best and kind of found a niche there. And then he was like, all right, well, I'm going to tell some of the other guys about you. And then next thing you know, we had 8 Titans guys getting IVs every week. And I was like,
they come by your spot?
Well, at the time, we would go to them because we would go to Decker's place or we'd go. They would come get it at the team hotel because I just fly wherever the team was and do IVs on the road.
Right.
And we kind of found out that man, these athletes might be bigger than what we this whole thing was built around country music because that's what we knew. But now it's these athletes are really demanding a lot. So over the last 3 years, up until from 2017 is when we started working with athletes up until now. So almost 4 years, I guess 4 years. Yeah.
That's so sick. Bro.
We work with probably, 60 some odd, 70, 80 NFL guys all around the country. Yeah. Not even just Titans guys. We got guys all over the country now. And
I know you and Gronk are boys.
Gronk's the homie, man.
Yeah.
Gronk's a good dude.
So you're responsible for his comeback.
Put that on the record.
Yeah. Bobo's responsible for Gronk's comeback.
Yeah.
You heard it here on Just Be in Earnest.
Yeah, for sure.
There's your clip.
Yeah, exactly.
There's your clip.
Yeah, if only he said that. No, he had a lot of things that played into that. Just to be on a serious note, he had a lot of things that went into it. I do think that what we do definitely helps. I mean, I know for a fact it helps him recover better. It helps a lot of people recover better. You know what? I've seen it change these athletes' recovery abilities, and the thing is, it's all legal. And to me, it's like I always give this example to guys, like, and in anything, you know, if you were in real estate and owned like 10 homes and you were making $1 million a year profit, and you were like, man, how do I make more money? How do I make more money? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to take part of that $1 million and you're going to buy another house because that's what's making your money. So you're going to spend part of the $1 million to then make more on the back end. And that's what I tell guys all the time too, is reinvesting into yourself is only going to make you more money on the back end.
Scared money don't make money.
True.
Yeah.
So that the athlete thing's kind of blown up over the last 2.5 years. It's like I'm all over the country, like, and we do stem cells and exosome therapy and like all kind of regenerative medicine.
Look at you,
D-Hen. What's up, boy?
That's a big boy, huh?
Yeah, he's a big dude.
I got to get him on the podcast too.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, we last year I worked out with him a bunch.
Yeah, notice you haven't.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all have pulled up any of his workout clips lately.
Where's he at? He's working out with
he works out with Sanders Fit out in Dallas.
Yeah, dude. I just couldn't even be in that room while he's doing it. Like, it would not that I would just be, I just would sit and watch and just be like, that's a Titan, dude. That's my running back.
Dude, that man, the thing is about Derek, and I'll say this, and I'd say it over and over. That man works harder than just about anybody. Like that dude, he works like a dog. Yeah. Like he'll get into, like he works so hard. Like, and he takes a lot of pride in the way he works and the way he pushes himself.
Yeah,
I mean, just look at this
specimen, dude.
Look at this.
This is the one that went super viral.
Oh yeah, dude, and that's not easy to do. Like,
dude, that's a running back. That's what I'm saying. That's not any other. That's not. People have to tackle him. He ain't tackling people.
That's one of my favorite things about being around Derek is his energy and the way he works.
Behind him is also absolutely.
So that's his trainer.
Okay, that's
Sanders. Yeah,
dude. I mean, Yoke City.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. Like,
what?
That's another reason I've really liked working with a lot of the athletes is that man, they take a lot of pride in the way they work and what they put in their bodies, and it's just been super cool to kind of like build that connection and rapport with them because they appreciate these small changes and stuff, and they can experience it on the field or in their recovery or in their workouts or at home with their families, you know. And I think there's a lot of stuff that we do that helps a lot of people out, not even just athletes. I work with a lot of business people too, just on like being more mentally sharp and
well, you know, Hardy got his IV during a podcast.
Yeah,
that's one. Me just absolutely hurting. When
we do hangover stuff too. Like
that's my extent.
But I'm just saying, it definitely works. It definitely works for hangovers too.
100%.
Like
it's a miracle.
Because I tell people, like, they're like, well, I feel 100%. No, you won't feel 100%. You just got hammered last night. But if you felt like 30%, you're going to go to like 75, which is functional.
I haven't felt 100% since like 7 or 8 years old, dude.
Yeah.
So if we can get back up to 60.
Yeah, we're cooking. We're cooking.
It's a great day to be alive. I got a big old V, but before it's an I. See what I did there?
Oh, he was prepared with that one.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Ern can freestyle though.
I can freestyle. Dude, okay, so I can freestyle.
Just a little flex.
I can freestyle.
Yeah, just tell y'all.
I'm so mind blown by the growth of that though, but that it just started with let's start a business, and now it's like everyone knows about this business in town and throughout the
crazy.
league.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
was it more of a need than you even expected?
100%. I had no idea we'd be here.
Yeah,
like it was really just an idea that we saw kind of a need and thought, man, this might be something for people. I really thought it would take off more in the music industry than it did, but it took off probably more than I expected there, I guess, too. But the athlete world, just because there's such a what's the word, a barrier to entry, you know, a barrier to entry with the athletes because they don't trust people.
So much regulation.
You're putting stuff in their body. So basically every time I work with any of those guys, they're basically saying, I trust you that I will never fail a drug test. And there's a huge like intimacy there of like, I'm really genuinely trusted you with my career, with my family, because a positive test affects everything. Right. So that's what's been good about like the word of mouth amongst the league and around professional athletes is that they just kind of grow it themselves. So I don't because I don't really like to sell people on stuff. Like I'll sell people on sleep and drinking water and that kind of thing that I'm not making money off of. But otherwise, I like people just to if you like what results you're getting, then share it. And the league thing has just been wild. It's been a ride. It's been a true ride.
Is it just football or do you have any other athletes? Like would you want to get hooked up with Mookie or something?
100%.
Yeah, but like
we don't work with any baseball guys.
That's what I'm wondering.
We don't work with any baseball guys really. We work with a couple NBA guys and some NHL guys. But we don't have any. We have no active baseball guys right now.
What's the difference between like before a game, like a pregame bag, or day before a game? Like what all's going in to that to prep somebody? Right.
It's a whole lot of like anything that's inflammation reduction for sure, but also a whole lot of like upregulating type amino acids. I'm not going to share all my secrets on the pod, but a whole lot of amino acids. We do a couple things that are cellular regenerative type things. I try to be cautious in what I say and don't say, but we do a whole lot of things that basically pregame we ramp your body up and prime it to like produce maximal output and maximal endurance or maximum endurance, not maximal, maximum endurance. And then the day after a game, what we do is we do things to shut your body down and down regulate and recover as fast as possible. So it's like rev your system up, prime your body with certain concoctions of amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and a couple other different molecules and things that we use to kind of prime the system up. And then on the back end, it's like, all right, we take out the specific things that are more engine revving, and we do things that down regulate and shut your system down, so you get into that recovery phase faster.
That's amazing.
Which is super cool.
Crucial, especially with the lack of days between games is crazy. For how much your body goes through on a Sunday, and then maybe have to play a Thursday game or something. You know?
It's unreal, dude. I don't know how they do it. You just put your body through a lot. I have a lot of respect for hockey guys too, because they put their bodies through it, and they're playing 2 and 3 games a week, and their travel schedules are ridiculous.
Yes,
and a lot of those guys have families, and you're trying to balance that. Like, man, like. That's tough. That's tough. I don't know how those guys do it, but
the Red Wings were all out playing golf the day before the Predators kicked their ass.
They also, that's the thing about hockey guys. Well, they can party too. They know how to balance, but they can go game.
The boys know how to party.
That's a good point. They can go game, party, game, and just be like, nah.
Yeah, hockey that's one of those like you got to be able to turn one up.
Yeah,
dude, I wish every sport allowed fights. Like, I know baseball kind of like,
I was thinking about that.
But like, all right, so did you see what's the NFL podcast where it's like Ocho Cinco's part of it?
Oh, I Am Athlete.
Right?
Yeah.
And they were talking about the Cortland Finnegan
Andre Johnson fight.
Like, let that go. You know, like don't kick anybody out. Like, I love Cortland Finnegan, but if he's chirping and if he wants to start a fight, which he's wanting to do,
let him catch these hands.
Catch some hands, and he would have thrown hands back.
It would have been sick.
But that's the issue, though.
Oh yeah, here it goes. Ooh, shove. Oh, take it. Should never take that.
That's the one before. Now we're gonna get serious.
Look, they don't even like know what's going on in the play. They're literally just going at each other.
Yeah, they didn't care.
They're not even concerned.
God, dude. I mean, Cortland Finnegan's clapping, but he also got hit so hard in the air, dude.
I know he's clapping because he doesn't know where he's at. He thinks he's in church. Hey, that was great, Pastor.
He only heard that clap out of one ear, exactly, for sure. Jeff, all right, I think I know why it can't happen in football. So baseball, obviously, benches can clear. You might have a couple ejections.
Yeah. Hockey,
you get put in timeout.
Right.
But hockey's never a full bench clearing. It's like, it's respectful. 2 men are going to duel.
Yeah.
I wish that happened in football but it's not because that's when Albert Hainsworth joins the chat.
Exactly.
Somebody gets their face.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody takes their helmet off and is like using their helmet as a weapon.
Oh, dude.
I mean, that's 2 full punches.
He got hit so hard.
He got hit in the back of the head.
That's what Andre said. He said, I told Cortland, you don't want these problems. And then that's exactly what he did. He went and got those problems.
Yeah, he caught all of them.
That's incredible. Yeah, so it would be cool to see maybe some baseball. I mean, what you do would be beneficial to really any job, not just sport.
It really is.
It's like, you said, for business, like just the sharper mind and like just to be a little bit more able to take 50 phone calls a day and get all my emails done and still go home and.
Yeah, because the big thing I tell people is like, because it's like not everybody can either A, afford an IV, or B, is not in Nashville, or C, has this like immense needle phobia. So there's all these things that are hindrances to getting IVs, right?
Right.
So I tell people like there's other things you can do to be healthier. You just actually have to like do them.
Yeah.
You know? Like sleep, I'm big on sleep. Like I'll talk about sleep till I'm blue in the face, but because most of us put the grind over the recovery. You know, we're more about like, oh, I'm gonna stay up. You know, songwriter will stay up because they're on a grind till 2 a.m. But then you go to bed and your sleep's not as good because you stayed up late. But then you got to get up early for whatever else is going on. Or same thing with like a business owner stays up late working on something and has to get up at 6 a.m. Well, your time that you're awake is becoming less and less efficient. There's so many research studies with athletes and non-athletes, and you're slowly killing yourself by not sleeping. Your heart increase of heart disease goes up. Your diabetes risk goes up.
Yeah.
Like
sleep apnea is. I got a good friend who has a bad case of sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And like also maybe just straight up. What is it? Narcolepsia? No, that's where he sees out.
Yeah.
What's it called?
When you just
Insomnia, dude.
Insomnia. Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like, dang, 'cause I know he has blood pressure problems and all that, and I know it all stems from his sleep.
Yeah.
But he can't help it because it's an actual fucking problem.
Yeah.
That sucks. Yeah, sleep is a real thing. So how many hours of sleep do you say you should get every night? What do they say? 6 to 8?
It's more like 8 to 9.
You think so?
Yeah. I try to get 8 over. I get over 8 every night, unless there's like some reason I need to be up. I get over 8.
Yeah.
My goal is 8 and a half every night.
What time do you go to sleep?
When I'm trying to go to sleep, 10.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, you go to bed at 10 and get up about 6:37.
That's probably me. I mean,
that's 9 hours right there. Like
I'm
you go to bed
11,
at 10, you get up at 7, 6:30,
12. Wake up at 7. I wake up with the sun pretty much every morning.
Yeah.
And there are nights like creatively.
Oh,
you have to pull late nights.
Yeah.
But I totally am not like. One thing I didn't like and I don't like about LA in the creative space is like a lot of these sessions don't even start till 10.
Yeah.
Which is already midnight in Nashville.
Yep.
So you go out to LA, smoke all day,
yep,
tired as shit, start the session at 10, go till 5 a.m.
Yep.
Get there, already waking up because you just wake up. Like I can't sleep late, even if I go to bed late.
Because you're off, like your time's off.
Yeah, and that is dangerous. And then people just move to LA and get in that habit. And it's like, oh, okay, so now you're vampires.
So now that's what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay, it's a Dracula.
Yeah, that's just another level too. I have some friends that are out there that do music and man, they can do it with the best of them. That's just tough. I couldn't be up all hours of the night like that. I get so tired.
Yes.
Is it true you can never catch up on your sleep debt too?
You can, but usually, so one all-nighter night, like if you stayed up all night and pulled an all-nighter, it takes around 14 days to catch up from that sleep. You like, even if you're like, oh, well, I'll just sleep 10 hours. Like, because you know, it's like the college thing. It's like what the college kids do is you party all weekend, don't really sleep. And then on Saturday, you'll go to bed and you'll sleep till like noon or 2 in the afternoon. And you think, oh, well, I got like 13 hours of sleep. You don't actually catch up. You don't catch up for like, it's basically around 14 days of regular sleep.
Because you start over on
But you start back on the next weekend.
You never catch up.
Exactly. So really, you don't ever catch up.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Exactly.
Sheesh.
But when you're younger, you don't appreciate the difference in like your cognitive sharpness or your thinking because I
didn't appreciate anything until
you just like you just out there getting it, you know. But yeah, it takes a while to catch up on bad sleep.
Spring is on the way, which means long days with sunlight, which means more opportunities to be hanging with friends outside, doing some grilling or hanging by a fire. And if you're like me, those good times may turn a little too good, make for a rough morning. Things changed when I found Goody's Hangover Powder. I can still have as much fun as I want at night with my friends, knowing that Goody's Hangover Powder has my back in the morning to get me on my feet and feeling alert. Goody's makes it super easy for me. I simply have to pour the powder in a glass of water, throw it back, and boom, fast pain relief's on the way. Goody's has hooked all of my listeners up with a discount code that you can use on Amazon. Use UNOFFERNEST for a discount on 6 packages. That's wild.
Yeah.
Think about it, dude. What did athletes do before you got here? Like,
well,
don't answer that. No, but like, okay, so realistically, I mean, I know we were talking about Gronk and the comeback and stuff, but like the lifespan of an NFL athlete should or could be prolonged by
100%.
It's just recovery matters so much.
100%.
Right?
You see that too, like early on in guys' careers, like young guys. I mean, they can sustain the hits and the workload and the volume and the long days and because the NFL is just different than college. You know, it's just a different lifestyle. You can eat whatever you want. You can do whatever the first couple of years, but all that's doing, in my opinion, is taking years off the back end of your career when you actually are getting big paid. Because the first 4 years of, even if you're a first rounder, I mean, yeah, 5 to 6 million is a lot of money, but relative to that second
next deal is going to hit different.
Exactly.
Taylor, call me.
Yeah, exactly. Big bag.
Big
you know,
bag.
and taking care of your body, man. It's just when you're in the league or a professional athlete of any kind, you're not going to make more money doing anything else other than playing that sport until you're out of the sport.
Right.
While you're playing,
as an NFL athlete,
while you're an active player, it's like LeBron or any of these guys. I mean, you're making $50 million a year. You're not making $50 million a year.
You don't think their brand? You don't think LeBron has? I guess
maybe shoe deals and stuff, but $50 million a year going in your pocket from paycheck from the league. And once you're out of the league, you'll make more. But LeBron's also a bad example because he's bigger than basketball, you know?
Yes.
But a starter in the NBA with a random name is not going to make more money doing real estate while he's in the league. Now, he may make a lot more money with a company outside of the league after the fact.
Right.
But, you know, he's not going to make more money later on, you know, or he will make more money later on. But while you're in the league, you've got to protect your asset, which is your body. That's the biggest asset you have as a professional athlete while you're playing.
Yeah. Speaking of Taylor, so obviously recovering from the ACL surgery, what is the the infrared light?
Yeah, light therapy stuff?
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that. I know nothing. It looks just like a laser tag.
Yes.
I feel like I should be doing hard drugs and playing laser tag. And the bright red, if you don't know, if you can pull up a pic so people know, the light therapy, what's going on there?
Well, if you do it while taking ecstasy, it's a better experience.
Yeah, probably
just kidding. You just like, and you like move it around, you just kind of rave in your house by yourself.
You put it on your fingers.
No, but it's so basically it's photobiomodulation is like the full term, but the short and simple is light therapy.
I like light therapy.
Easier word.
Couldn't even begin to repeat what you just told me.
Yeah, just mumble something. That's what I just did. I just said it real fast. I probably
that was also known as
light therapy. Yeah, you just make up something. Everybody think, oh, the medical guy probably knows.
Yeah.
Whatever he said's right, but I'll go with light therapy.
So light therapy.
Yeah, so it uses near infrared light and red light, which are two different spectrums of wavelengths of red light.
Yeah,
right?
There it is. Yeah, it looks like it's set up on the side of a stage.
Exactly. So what it's doing is basically, there's tons of literature in how it works and what it's doing, but basically it increases blood flow and it increases cellular activity. So basically it heightens your body's pre-existing cells to do their job better. Try to make it simple.
No, that's a good job.
You know, like it basically makes your cells function better.
Speed up the recovery.
Speeds up recovery, and it increases blood flow to that area, and that's basically what it's doing.
So, because you did that, were you doing that? Is that what you were doing after travel days? Like
100%. I do it every morning. I do it on my balls.
Yeah,
increases testosterone.
You got
shout out Jude for increasing my testosterone.
Have a fucking pocket one of those?
Well, I know I have
a pocket red light. Honey, what are you doing?
Well, I know. Hey, there's
throwing a little fucking slight light on my nuts. What's it called? Light therapy.
Light therapy.
Doing a little light therapy on my nuts.
Yeah, there's a guy. His name's Ben Greenfield. He's a biohacker, and he uses a portable one made by Juve as well. But
that's amazing.
Every morning he gets up, he grabs it off his thing and just lays it on and just puts it on his balls for 10 minutes every morning. It like the research is pretty good.
Do this, dude.
Yeah,
I look like a guy that could use some more testosterone.
Yeah, it supposedly works. I mean, the literature's there. I mean, I got a pretty high sex drive anyway, so I don't know if it's making it worse or what.
I'm down to do anything to enhance whatever my nuts already do. You hear the birds chirping? That's because flowers are blooming and the grass is growing. It's time to mow your freaking lawn, dude. Thanks to our sponsor, Manscaped, you can trim the hedges below the belt safely and efficiently. And I'm talking about ball trimmers. That's right, ball trimmers. Spring has sprung and Manscaped has the best tools to get you ready. I recommend their Perfect Package 3.0. Package comes with the Lawnmower 3.0, which has a ceramic blade to reduce shaving accidents. Crucial. The package also includes the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver to have your nether region smelling and feeling so great. And I mean great. Lastly, the package comes with a travel bag and boxer briefs. You think what I'm thinking? That's right. This is the perfect package for your package. Jinx. Haha, just kidding. Not really. I used to nick my nuts all the time. It was really a tragedy. Y'all wouldn't believe it. It was a battle every time I tried to do some self-grooming. But then Manscaped joined my team, and I win the self-grooming game every time. It's not even close. Sometimes I just walk around with the Lawnmower 3.0 just for fun because I like it that much. Join the other 2 million men who trusted Manscaped. They're here to make sure your balls are smooth and smelling nice. I like it when 2 other million men are in charge of my balls being smooth and nice. Don't you? After all, it's time for spring cleaning. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code ERNEST20. Hey, that's 20% off of free shipping with the code ERNEST20. ERNEST20 at manscaped.com. It's spring cleaning, baby, and your balls will thank you.
But for me, it's like trying to find alternatives because everybody wants to just take testosterone. Like that's a big question I get, not from athletes, but from like business people that are middle aged. Want to increase their testosterone. How do I increase my low T? I got my sex drive's low.
I did test booster my freshman year of college.
Oops. While playing,
NAIA.
Shout out banned substances.
NAIA. Deca, dude. Deca and test, dude. Testosterone.
Just juice, yeah.
I was a little swolly.
Fast pitch earn.
Swolly.
Yeah, they call him test heater earn. Yeah.
Test heater earn.
Heater.
Okay.
It was a bad joke.
Yeah, maybe sit this next one out.
Hey, about ever coming back on this podcast, we're just going to have you sit in the corner and watch.
Yeah.
Actually, would you come back for the next one, sit in the corner and watch how it's done?
Actually, we sit in the corner and face the corner and not watch how the next one's done. Dude, that's so interesting to me. Recovery, there's just technology's nuts now. If you want to call it, it is technology. It's science. Modern science.
So cool, man. Like, there's so much stuff out there.
Do you think people are going to be able to live like to 200 years again?
I think we'll make it. I think, and there's some literature in this too that you could. What's literature? There's some words and research. There's some words that have been written on pages that,
like the Bible, like commandments.
No, like recent.
With you, but tell me more about living to 200.
Yeah, I think you could probably live to 120. Like healthily to 120. That's probably about the maximal life of your cells.
Wow.
There's some people that will argue you could live longer, but a lot of the really good research is saying like 120, you could push to live 120. It's just the problem is the environmental like you're exposed to things in the environment here, like even down to the water. Like it's so highly fluorinated. Like there's got tons of fluoride in the water, like in tap water. Like there's so many things that are working against you to live that long. That's why a lot of these longer living, healthier lives aren't in America. They're usually out of America. They're in different populations of people. They don't eat processed foods. They hunt for their food. They're more active populations. Like they don't have like high occurrence of heart disease and diabetes. They live off the land. They're more of these populations that you see like tribal populations are living longer because they're dying because they got eaten by something or like had like some, they fell and they didn't have access to medical care, but they're, as long as they have access to food and like clean water, they're living longer than us.
So do you preach, obviously no processed meat or foods, but like, does it matter? Like, is it to each his own on like being a vegan or vegetarian or red meat? Like, what do you feel about red meat diet? 'Cause you eat steak.
I eat steak. Yeah. It's a
slippery slope.
Yeah. That's a tough conversation. I think I tell people that you just need to eat clean, if you want to be vegan, you want to be vegetarian, pescatarian, carnivore, you just need to Presbyterian, Catholic,
Baptist, church,
whatever you feeling, just rock it. But that's like
I got him.
But that's kind of the thing. You just kind of got to eat like whatever.
You went there though. What kind of
Presbyterian, Presbyterian. Man, which one do I want to be?
Dude, as you go to a Presbyterian church and ask for the fish.
Yeah.
That's go to a Presbyterian restaurant.
Why are y'all serving burgers here?
Yeah.
Y'all are having a cookout with burgers?
That's hilarious.
This is not what I signed up for.
A Baptist church and I can't actually be here. I'm Presbyterian. Dude, bad joke. Cut that joke out. I tried to make a joke on the fly.
I think it works.
Let's see what we say here. Was Sam the first big name you worked with, but that was just because you were friends? Like, outside of Sam, who was your like client that leveled up?
Ooh, Man, maybe. Well, I got linked up with Kenny Chesy's manager, Clint Heim, and I got to start working with Kenny some.
Oh yeah,
which was cool.
Did you take an ice bath?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh man, yeah. Those things are so cold. Those are intense. It's still healthy for you though. They're really good for you.
Yeah, I mean they are. I'm sure they are.
But they're cold as hell.
Beer is too.
I thought you had a beer right there. I didn't even look.
It's LaCroix because I believe in putting good things in my body.
Let's go.
We've been talking about this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to live to 120 here.
Exactly.
169.
Yeah. Oh, heavy on the 69.
Or just 69.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the weird, sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying that's probably like the next like kind of springboard person I got to work with. I got to be careful too because I'm not really sure whose names I can say and not say. But
okay, well, don't say a client's name on this. But what's the weirdest request you've ever gotten from a client?
Ooh, weirdest request.
I'm excluded from this answer.
Oh yeah. I will probably have to edit this a little bit because I need a second to think. So we'll probably take some of this thinking period out.
Think on
it.
Or do the Jeopardy music while he thinks.
Oh, dang. Just got slayed.
Yeah.
Great.
So start thinking.
Weirdest or like most demanding, like something off the wall.
Ooh. I mean, I don't really get too many weird requests, honestly. I mean, you get requests for like random drugs,
Yeah.
pain pills, Xanax.
Got you. So nobody's asked you for an enema?
No, nobody's asked me for an enema.
Damn, would you do one?
Well,
I'm asking.
A coffee enema?
I'd tell you they're good for you, but I wouldn't provide that service for you.
You do enemas?
I've done it with ozone gas before. I did it on my Instagram. I put ozone up my ass one time.
Like gasoline?
Like ozone, like oxygen is O2. Ozone's O3. I put air. No, oh shit.
You put fucking diesel fuel up your ass?
Let's go.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
That's how I work so hard. Body fueled by diesel.
That's hilarious. What are you doing? Just shooting a little gasoline at my gasoline, dude.
Trying to feel something. No.
More like a cinema, dude.
Yeah, I don't really get many weird requests now that I think about it,
No, we're talking about enemas now. How often do you get enemas?
I don't really do enemas often.
But you've had a few.
I've had them before, yeah.
Coffee enema?
I've done a coffee enema before.
What's that like? Is it a rush? I would get one.
You get a good coffee buzz off of it, yeah. And it detox. I mean, it's really good for like colon and intestinal detox.
Isn't it just like what just came out of me?
Yeah, and it's also like a weird, like you have to like separate from the weirdness of it because like you're putting a tube in your butt and flooding.
We're just being earnest.
And flooding coffee beans into your butt.
Ground up?
Oh, it's like,
can you choose?
It's like brewed coffee. You can choose your coffee brand. I do recommend you use
nitro, like iced coffee, or are we going for the burn? Is it hot?
It's kind of a warm vibe.
Okay,
it's kind of like
bath water.
It's kind of nice.
I think I want a coffee enema, dude.
We could definitely do that on like a segment of a pod and like put you through a coffee enema. That would actually be funny.
I think just drop like a curtain from the waist down.
I would literally help you do that just for the content of how amazing that would be. We can get you all like popped in and like, oh yeah.
I need to be popped out for that.
Yeah, you're gonna have something popping out, but
don't know what that means.
I don't know either. It sounded like it went there. It just didn't go well.
I think it did go there.
Yeah,
I'd like you to go ahead and put your name next to the guy that took it there. So Bobo says if you get a coffee enema, something's going to be popping out. And it's up to God to figure out what it is.
That's true. Something I want to talk about at some point on the pod is, and I don't want to get into it now because it's more of a longer conversation, but I'd love to chat about microdosing.
Can we talk about it right now?
We can.
I've talked about it on my podcast early on. I've talked about it on Bussin' with the Boys. I think microdosing with mushrooms is like maybe one of the best things that's, I wouldn't say it's turned into like a social interaction thing yet, but like mushrooms don't have the taboo stigma that come with them like they did a few years ago.
Right.
Where like, I don't know. I just feel like there's so many people now here and in LA that are on the microdose thing where it's not tripping.
No.
And we can talk about that a little. It's not tripping at all. It's just kind of like a, like I've said, at the end of the day, you look back and today was a better day.
Yeah.
And you 100%. Smile a little more and you worry a little less.
Yeah.
And if that isn't something you want to sign up for, then check yourself.
Yeah. I think that mushrooms or psychedelics as an entire blanket. We'll just throw them over all psychedelics, which I guess would include LSD and peyote and ayahuasca and DMT. That kind of is the big blanket over all of them. But mushrooms, to me, being the safest, most herbal, natural way to talk about those things. But they actually, I believe they will somewhat eradicate or at least cut in half the usage of antidepressants.
For sure.
And that's the reason that you probably see the FDA and all these big, large pharmaceutical governing bodies pushing against it. Because the moment that it's completely legalized in the mushroom world, it will truly change the way we use
psilocybin.
But it also change the way we use antidepressants.
Oh, right.
Because all those antidepressants come with tons of risk, right? Yes. And mushrooms, truly, especially at lower levels, like there's so much literature, they're unbelievably safe. Like, unbelievably safe. Yes. So it's like you could choose something with basically no side effect profile, or you could choose a synthetic compounded medication that
you're a guinea pig for.
That comes with it. And everybody responds to it differently. Yeah. And it's like, and exactly 10 years later, a thing might come out. They're like, hey, by the way, like you're going to die in 10 years because of it.
Yeah. I mean, I was on antidepressants for 4 years and maybe almost 5 years. And now I know that some people require to be medicated and that's for real. But the transition out of antidepressants, and it was like it was cold turkey how I stopped, which was probably bad because I definitely withdrew coming off of antidepressants. And weed was my landing place out of that. But now microdosing for me, I can't imagine like taking a medicine pill instead of just having a little bit of a micro vibe, because if you haven't ever done it, it's tough to explain because it's not psychedelic by any means.
No.
It's really just your day is happier. It's the best way to put it. You're not necessarily geeking out, giggling or anything.
No, you're usually more focused, more locked in. At the end of the day, you're like, oh damn, I responded to all my day's activities better than I would had I not microdosed. Yeah. But they just have this like stigma around them that's like, ooh, that's a drug. Yes, mushrooms are illegal, so I'm not gonna sit here and be like, everybody go out and do shrooms. Yeah. Go find your local drug dealer to buy shrooms. But I'll tell you that as they become more readily available in the sense of becoming legal and decriminalized and allowing people to grow their own mushrooms, which they will, because there's just too much literature coming out right now, man, it will reach, like I used to joke that if everybody in the entire world did one big mushroom trip all at the same time, we'd eradicate a lot of the world's problems. Yeah. Because you'd eradicate the way you see each other, the way you see your fellow brother or sister, like the way you interact with people. Like, you could change and shape the way the world views itself. And a lot of that's because there's medical things that actually support that, right? Like there's a lot of medical research that supports these things. It's not just like, oh, I did a drug and I felt something and that's why I'm going to change my life. Like it's not that. Like
it's not all just going to Bonnaroo and doing shrooms.
Yeah, I usually tell people that like there's this thing called the default mode network that's in your brain, and it basically is this pathway of thought that's almost habitual thought. And there's a good documentary on it on Netflix, and it describes it as you're skiing down the mountain, right? And you keep going down the same mountain over and over again. Your regular thought is that. Well, eventually your skis in that powder create a lane that you're skiing in over and over again. So you're pathologically and habitually thinking the same way. And you cannot break that chain because you've created a neurological pathway that thinks that way. In come mushrooms,
right?
And that's fresh snowfall. So that snowfall falls down, covers it, and now you're skiing down a brand new set of pow-pow.
Brand new trip down the mountain.
Exactly. And now you can think outside of how you were thinking habitually. Like for like chronic disease and like people that are dealing with things like that or have, life-altering things, I don't want to say I recommend it because I probably can't say that. But man,
I recommend it.
Yeah, microdosing mushrooms. I think it'd be so cool one day when those things are legal, man, because I think that you're going to really see a lot of people's health needs met without taking a pill. That half the time people that take antidepressants will tell you that shit doesn't work.
It makes people,
and it makes you more tired.
Not as people are, maybe they do need their medicine, but at the same time, where it's like, I can tell a difference from me on medicine versus me off medicine.
For sure.
And I like me off medicine past the withdrawals better.
Yeah.
Where I can actually feel. And
I think too, like with antidepressants, like depression's real. It's a medical need.
1,000,000%.
100%.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's got to be a better option than shutting down your system a little bit. You know, like what those antidepressants do. Like they're not that it makes somebody a shell of themselves, because I don't want to say that, but it definitely alters who you are a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And
The Mind Explained is what you're talking about.
Is that the one?
Yeah. I think that actually is it.
I was just reading descriptions. It talks about default mode.
Yeah, it might be The Mind Explained, or it's the how the mind works. I think it's the How the Mind Works, and it's called, and like there's an episode called Psychedelics, because it talks about LSD and mushrooms or psilocybin and again, like I don't think it's about, again, I think that mushrooms could be used as a medicine and not as a drug.
Right.
You know? And if we would allow them to be legalized, the amount of research and things that would come out, we could do so much with that.
Right.
But again, Big Pharma is going to shut that down as long as they can. The same reason Big Pharma doesn't like the IV world, because there's things that are treating people that aren't medications that they can make money off of.
Remedies.
Exactly. IVs are the same way. Mushrooms are the same way. That's why weed got fought for so long, because, or it's still being fought by a lot of states, you know, because it's taking away from the anti-inflammatory industry. You know, CBD's uptick has been so beneficial in that. I have a
topical
CBD
creams and all that.
I have a topical cream, and I have tinctures and stuff that I use that are my companies as well. And I think there's such a benefit there. But you're always going to be fighting against Big Pharma, because they're making trillions of dollars off these drugs, and they want to protect that. And money protects you. You know, if you got money like Big Pharma does, you can protect your own interests for a long time.
Yeah.
Even if it's not in the best interest of the American people.
Yeah. Are we getting close though, you think?
I think mushrooms are about 10 years off.
What about weed? Like Tennessee weed?
3 years. 3 years.
For medical or recreational?
Medical.
New York just became rec, right?
Yeah, rec's here. Yeah, they did. Rec's probably, I bet rec's
five,
probably 5. But I think there's times I think it may be federally legal before it's legal, or rec legal federally, than it is in the States, or than it is in Tennessee.
Right. Hey, want to build transportation? Legalize weed and it'll pay for it.
Man, so much tax. That's the other thing. You can make so much tax dollars off of it. And if you look too at the states that have made it rec, you haven't lost, like, it's not like your drug, it's like, you know, they talk about it as a gateway drug. Your deaths of like heroin and stuff haven't gone up. You need to get your doctor to stop writing damn Percocets.
Yes.
Like, prescribe marijuana, they're not going to go do heroin. You get them addicted to Percocets, what they're going to do, as soon as they can't get their Percocets off the street, they're going to start paying a lot of money for that. Next thing you know, they're buying this fentanyl-laced drug or this heroin because it's what they can get.
Yeah.
And you got them addicted to that. Instead, you could...
And then they're treated like criminals and not fucking products,
and not products of the system. Exactly. Yeah. It's a broken system. And now it's like, you know, if you could just give somebody, like, you have not seen an uptick at all in the states that have been made recreational of illicit drug use or illegal illicit drug use at all. So it's like, clearly what we were taught about gateway drugs is not really the case. Like, marijuana is not the gateway drug.
Right.
If it was, California would have had a lot more heroin use, crack use, cocaine. Like, it would just have more.
Weed might be the gateway drug they refer to, like in high school, where the first thing you're going to do that's like outside of the box is probably smoke weed.
Yeah.
But like in the grand scheme of how shit works, motherfuckers are smoking weed. That's not what's going to make them go make poor decisions.
Yeah. And again,
I might miss my exit and eat way too many brownies and forget to get the eggs.
Yeah.
Delaney. Sorry, Delaney. But that's it.
And my big thing with it is not to say go smoke weed and eat shrooms. My thing is just be more aware of what you're putting in your body and be cognizant of, you know, there's going to be things that eventually become legal that you shouldn't be so closed-minded to solely because someone as you were growing up told you that. Because the only reason that person told you that is because they were once told that.
Yeah.
And who told them that is society, who's created and cultivated this.
That was when the war on
drugs are the best.
The war on drugs.
Yeah. Well, what's the difference in a Percocet and a Zoloft as opposed to psilocybin and THC? Like, truly, what's the difference? Well, one's grown and is 100% a naturally grown product, and one is synthetically made in a lab with a shitload of side effects.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
They're both drugs. If you want to call them drugs, they're both drugs,
Yeah.
right? The Zoloft and Percocets are no lesser drugs than marijuana and psilocybin,
Right.
except both marijuana and psilocybin
legal
carry a lot less side effect profile.
Yeah.
So my thing is just to tell people to be open-minded to things as they become legal, because they will, whether it's in 2 years or 10, things will eventually start to become more available to people legally. And there's just too much medical research and literature that supports the benefit of those things, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's just good to know that all those teachers that told me I was going to be a nobody bum pothead, it's like, hey, I'm healthy. Hey, I'm just being healthy.
Hey, I've got my own podcast.
No, I'm just got, look at me now.
Yeah, look at me now. You catch me on your TV.
I'm so glad you came on the podcast, because we've had some of these conversations before, but I think it's beneficial for my listeners to hear, because you know me, I like to have a good time, but weed is way more than just recreational. Mushroom is way more than just recreational. There's real benefits that help me live a genuinely more joyful life. Yeah. Not just, I'm so high right now. I'm able to smile a lot more. And like Delaney, before she was pregnant, her drug of choice, she loves mushrooms.
Yeah.
And she's the most empathetic human being I've ever met in my life already. So
right.
It's like we just sit there and wonder what that bunny rabbit's going through.
Yeah. That's so funny.
And I hope he's doing well.
Exactly. 100%.
I hope he's doing so well. Well, thanks for coming on Just Being Earnest. I'm glad we had that little conversation.
Oh, yeah. I want to talk about it, too, because it's something that I'm passionate about, alternative medicine, because it goes right in line with what my company is.
Yes.
And we don't
provide
mushrooms and weed, but like for me, it's like it's so in line with alternative therapies, like, light therapy, cryotherapy, infrared sauna, hyperbaric chamber, IVs, all this stuff that we're going to be offering here in Nashville this summer. It's like they're alternatives to what you've always been told is best for you.
Yeah.
Just need to think about the people that are telling you what's best for you. They learned it somewhere. Where are they learning it? Where are they getting that information? And I just encourage everybody to like educate yourself on the other options that are out there. Don't just go to the doctor and let them tell you, hey, well, you need these 3 pills. Yeah, but, well, does that pill fix the problem, or does it treat the symptom? Hey,
if he gives you some bad news, you're going to go get a second opinion. So why don't you go find your own second opinion on what he's prescribing?
Yeah, come holler at Arete here in Nashville. We'll give you a second opinion.
You got it. And that's episode 29 of Just Being Earnest.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Right hand have a problem?
Well, it was like a reach across the thing. It was kind of a reach, so I was like, and I was just kind of like feeling good back here, so I was just vibing out.
Thank you, guys.
Just being earnest. Just being earnest. Just being earnest. Just being earnest.